was right before the team limited Grand Prix.
Yep.
And so that they started out in Cincinnati, and eventually they found their way to the Invitational here.
And he finds his way untapping. He's playing Esper Control, a deck that you were pretty familiar with.
I'm familiar with, and one thing I'm familiar with is that if the format's standard, I do not want to be across the table from Reid Duke, and I don't care what he's playing. It's like he just doesn't. Unsurprisingly, Reid went 4-0 yesterday in standard yet again. Really just seems to be a master of this format. Thomas went 3-1 in standard. His 4-0 was with his signature Death and Taxes deck in Legacy.
The deck that he won a Grand Prix with. Did you see Duke upping that Liliana of the Veil? It's up to 6. He's got a Grafdigger's Cage in play. He plays an Overgrown Tomb untapped. He's tapping a whole lot of mana. There's a Rakdos Return going upstairs. Snapcaster Mage here for Enevoldsen. He cannot flash back. He's just got to discard some cards and try to keep that Liliana of the Veil under control.
Yeah, Liliana. So from an Esper standpoint, one of the reasons why typically Esper has that Blue White Red does not is its ability to deal with Planeswalkers. It's a lot harder for Esper to get a resolved Planeswalker off the board. It has to attack it with Restoration Angels for the most part, or maybe play Detention Spheres out of the board.
Duke with an Underworld Connections activation, draws a card, plays a land, plays a Thragtusk, ups that Liliana, and you see Enevoldsen is staring down a very difficult board state here. He's got a Snapcaster Mage, but Duke is far ahead in many different ways, able to draw multiple cards a turn, has a 5-3, and has that Planeswalker ticking up, up, up all day long.
Yeah, well, so when you're playing something like Esper that's actually just trying to answer everything, it's really important that you keep that you never even let the relevant cards get on the board in the first place. You need to have more counter spells because you have less way of dealing with permanents. There are 2 cards on the battlefield right now which are bad news when resolved. The first one is Liliana of the Veil. The second one is Underworld Connections. Both those are really devastating for Esper.
You see Duke immediately plays his Stomping Grounds. Now he's going to play, and he's going to activate that Underworld Connection, draws
Speaking
a
of
Garrett.
cards you can't let resolve,
yeah.
Here's number 3, and this one's probably worse than all the other ones.
Yeah, this might be the backbreaker here for Enevoldsen, as he's going to draw an Isolated Chapel. He's going to extend the hand, and Reid Duke is going to move on to 8-1. And you can't beat him when he's playing Jund, apparently.
5-0 in standard, just no surprise. No surprise.
We talked about it yesterday. We'll talk about it some more today. Deck familiarity is key.
It's not even deck familiarity. Was it last? I want to say in the last year he's won 3 standard GPs.
I mean,
he won Miami.
He won Miami
and Charleston.
Yes, that's true.
And I believe there was one in Texas. Also.
I mean, he's top 8 at 3 because he top 8 back to back. He top 8 at Charleston.
He didn't win them all.
He didn't win them all. Yeah, he top 8 at Charleston. He top 8 at San Antonio, and then he won Miami.
Okay.
So yeah, he does pretty well.
3 standard GP top 8.
Yes, he does pretty well in the standard format, and all of those